Hey guys, surprise, surprise. Happy New Year. This was something, once again, spur of the moment, like what I did on Christmas Eve. I am now learning that for next year, I'm definitely going to put notice well in advance of if I am going to go live or when I'm going to go live. Hey, what's up? We got Mr. Wilson here. Gabriel's here. What's up, guys? Happy New Year. I just wanted to personally take some time out of my day to wish all of you a Happy New Year. This year has been so incredible, and I just want to share some of the wonderful moments, like kind of recap some of those moments that have happened throughout this year. But I see a lot of people are joining in. Larry's here, Miguel, John, Lewis. What's up, Lewis? Raphael, Shamar. Lots of people I see are jumping in. This, like I said, I apologize for not giving you any notice whatsoever. But for next year, I'm learning. I'm a very quick learner that I will have a better schedule planned out for the holidays to share some of that time, because like I said, for Christmas Eve, yeah, it's about being with my family, but you guys are my family. The Raiti's Rides family is my family, and I definitely want to spend some time with you to talk about a bunch of stuff. Yes, Gabriel, definitely. From 0 to 45, that's as fast as some of the cars that I've driven. But anyways, I wanted to share some of the amazing moments over this past year. Can I do a recap? I am going to be putting together a video, an actual review of my top 10 favorite drives of the year, favorite cars of the year that I've driven, and also some top zonks, some cars that really did not leave me super duper excited when I was done driving the car. But I can see Tom is here, Logan. Happy New Year's, everybody. It's really crazy. A decade has gone by. It's so interesting to think about, just from a decade standpoint, that the change in cars. I mean, go back to 2010 and what was being produced, the performance, the horsepower numbers, all that great stuff. What's up, Steven? All that great stuff. It's interesting how fast things are just ramping up, and it really blows my mind on where we're going. Like, especially when it comes to horsepower numbers. I was reading an interesting article this morning that they were talking about how horsepower numbers are getting so crazy. Is it going to revert back to the overall driving experience? Lori wound up getting herself a BRZ, that 2016 BRZ that I did do a review on. If you haven't seen that, it is in the playlist. Really perfect car for her. 20,000 miles we got from the original owner. Driving that car doesn't have a lot of horsepower. I will never tell you that car is fast in a straight line, but definitely with driving engagement, it really is a total blast. Logan has a question, and if you have questions, this is going to be a challenge for me because Lori's doing some things, getting ready for going out tonight for New Year's Eve and whatnot. There's a nice little Italian restaurant locally in Safety Harbor near where I live, where we're going to be going to dinner and whatnot. What's up, Efren? Happy New Year. Matthew's here. But if you have a certain question that you definitely want answered, you can use that super chat feature. That helps me just see it a little bit longer. But I definitely just want to start off and say, listen, everybody go out, have a good time, celebrate with family and friends. Please, 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 there's no reason to drink and drive. Use an Uber, use a Lyft, phone a friend, sleep on somebody's couch, get a taxi, or just stay home. Sometimes that's the safest thing. But I just want all of you guys to be safe. I want you to have a good time, obviously, but please be safe. That's important to me. I don't want anybody getting hurt, God forbid, or anything like that. Because 2020, you're going to want to stick around. 2020 is definitely going to be one of those ones where you want to get your racing harness. We have our racing harness on. We're going to cinch that down extra tight because things are going to get really ramped up here. But enough with preaching to you and telling you to be safe. I know a lot of you are smart. That's why you watch Raiti's Rides, right? I mean, we have a lot of smart people here and a lot of nice people. I also want to give you a quick update. I know people have been asking about the Shelby, what's going on with the Shelby Gt350. First of all, thank you. It was mind-blowing to see the outpour of support. Remember, I was not begging for people to comment. Oh, thank you, Tommy. Tommy just super chatted. Happy New Year, Tommy. He said, do you like automatic or what do you like about manual more? So, Tommy, I'm going to stop talking what I'm talking about because Tommy Smith just super chatted, and I appreciate that, Tommy. So let me use the Supra for an example, the 2020 Supra. If you watch my review, you'll definitely see the usual Joe Raiti having a good time behind a great car, behind the wheel of a great car. That Supra is amazing. I love the way it handles. I'm not even talking about if it's a BMW, is it a Toyota, is it a Porsche? I don't care. It's got 4 wheels, a turbocharged straight 6. I had a blast driving it. One of the things that's holding me back from ever wanting to buy one or a car like that is, would I still enjoy it the same amount 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later, all because of the automatic transmission? It's a great transmission. The ZF 8-speed is a great transmission. I had a blast going up and down with the paddles and all that good stuff, and it actually shifts really well on its own. But there's just something for me that if I'm going to have a car like that, I want to be as connected as I possibly can. And there's no better connection than to road through your gears. So, Tommy, I hope that answers your question. I love manual because you feel more connected. It's just more enjoyable. I mean, I remember, I'm sure some of you saw, if not a lot of you saw, the review of that Toyota Corolla hatchback that I did. It was like a bright blue, and it had a manual. Just having the manual, even with 160 somewhat horsepower, it made the car that much more enjoyable to drive, at least for me. And I'm not saying, hey, if you don't know how to drive manual, if you don't want to drive a manual, then you suck or whatever. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, for me personally, that's why I want the GT350 so bad. One of the main reasons over a GT500, because the Tremec 6-speed manual transmission is a sweet piece of heaven that I love rolling through the gears. So hopefully, Tommy, thank you for super chatting. If anybody else has a specific question or a comment, because these questions are coming in, we're already at 93 people. You guys are awesome. If you just joined us, Happy New Year. I wanted to personally share my excitement for the new year and definitely do a recap. I actually wrote, I got my pad here. I actually went month by month. We're going to recap some of the amazing things that happened that I was able to share with you guys here on Raiti's Rides. But going back to my update, so we have the order in, and you guys, that outpour, I think we have something like over 2,000 comments on that GT350 order video. If you have not seen that, check it out. I put an order in. Thanks to all of you. Can't do it without you guys. I promise you that. At the beginning of this year, if you would have said, hey, Joe, by December, you're going to put an order in for a Shelby GT350 Heritage Edition, I would have said you're nuts. I knew the channel was going to grow, and I knew things were going to really start to go well. Thank you, Benji. Happy New Year, my friend. Benji's awesome, and Benji is one of the wonderful people that work at Walker Ford, and definitely we're going to get that allocation with Benji's support and everybody else. But thank you, Benji. And thank you, Tommy, for your super chat. But to think that within a year, I got to put an order in for a Shelby GT350, thank you. There is nothing that makes me sit here and say, yeah, it was all me, blah, 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 blah. I got the awesome support of my wonderful, beautiful, intelligent, lovely, charismatic wife, Lori. I have Tom, who obviously Big Guns McGee, helping me so much with the camera and whatnot. And then, of course, I have all of you. I mean, it humbles me every day to know that so many of you let those ads play, because you know that's how I'm able to do what I'm doing. We do a video every day, if not more. Yesterday, I put up 2 videos, the Cadillac Escalade and the CX-5, if you have not seen that. As we get into the new year with all the auto shows, Joe Raiti's going to be posting 3 or 4 videos a day with that auto show stuff, because I want to get it to you ASAP. So let me bring you up to speed real quick. Happy New Year, everybody. I see everybody coming in. Sam, Happy New Year, brother. So with the order, we got the order in. We're not, oh, thank you. One Smoking Lizard, thank you. Happy New Year. That's so wonderful for you to say that for the whole Raity's Rise family. 2020 is going to be awesome. Thank you for that super chat. I really, really appreciate that. Can't do it without Tommy, Benji, and One Smoking Lizard, and obviously everybody else. I can't do it without you. Thank you for watching the ads, but we have the order in. We got to wait until after the new year. That's when the factories, everybody goes back to work, so to speak, and the executives and the 4 corporate offices are open, and the assembly lines open back up. That's when we're going to find out about the allocation. So fingers crossed, I will have an answer by the end of January. I'm hoping. I know a lot of people, it was wonderful. I don't know if some of you have been reading through those comments. First of all, the comments blow my mind. The kind words that you guys have to say about the channel and about me and about everything else, thank you. It's really humbling and just blows me away how much you guys support the channel. It's just a beautiful, wonderful thing. But some people have reached out. They have told me that, my dealership in Texas or my dealership in California has an allotment for a Shelby Gt350 that you could do heritage, check off the box for the Heritage Edition. I thank you guys for bringing that to my attention. And I know, and everybody else knows, I'm all about being loyal, and I'll always be loyal to you. I know so many of you are loyal to me, and that's why I want to bring you the best every single day that I'm doing my stuff. But I got to stay loyal to Walker Ford. I believe, I trust, I'm willing it into fruition that they're going to be able to get that allocation from Ford, and I'm not going to have to go to another dealership, because I really don't want to. We had the 10K celebration. We had the 50K celebration. We had the 100K celebration. We're going to be doing the 200K celebration there at Walker Ford. They open up their doors. Frank Walker, Wes Walker, Tracy, the whole group, Benji, just open up the doors and let me film whatever I need to film. And that makes them so awesome. But let's talk about the actual year in review. We're going to go back to January of this year. So January was interesting. It really, really was, guys. January 7th, I remember it clear as day, is when we hit 25,000 subscribers on the channel. That I felt like $1 million. I was like, wow, this thing is starting to really ramp up. And that's really where I started to get the idea of that this might be a career move for me. Because remember, at the beginning of this year, I was still in the classroom. And I remember being at Walker Ford, go figure. And I did a Facebook Live and an Instagram Live. And I was like, listen, we're going to be at 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2019. Guess what? Thanks to all of you, we did it. We just hit 167,000, and we're more than halfway to 168,000 subscribers. So I'm going to say by the end of 2020, and it'll be fun to hear you guys tell me what where you think we're going to be, where Raity's Rise is going to be subscriber-wise by the end of 2020. I'm going to say 300,000 subscribers, maybe more, 400,000 subscribers. I definitely will be at 200,000. We're going to be at 200,000. My guesstimation, which I just made up that word, my guesstimation is we're going to be at 200,000 subscribers by the end of March, maybe beginning of April. And that's when I've been telling Walker Ford, hey, we need to start planning. They want to know when we need to start planning the 200K celebration. That's definitely when it's going to be. Irving definitely 300K, I think, is really going. 750,000. Thank you, Dr. Taz. 750,000 would be unbelievable. I wouldn't even know what to do with that. But I will We got a question about reviewing all trims of the Passat, 2020 Passat. I'm still waiting on these freaking 2020 Volkswagens to get to the dealership. My contact Zadie over at Reeves Volkswagen, great guy. I want to get back up there, but they don't have their 2020s in yet. So that's going to be coming very, very soon. 1 million subs next year. That would be, I mean, obviously we want to aim high. I'll be happy with 500,000. I mean, if we got 500,000 subscribers, I mean, that's nuts. I can't even believe it. But let me go over. I actually spent some time. I sat down. Lori was so proud of me. And if you're wondering where's Lori, she's getting ready, doing some odds and ends, running some errands we're going out for New Year's Eve tonight. We made reservations at a local Italian restaurant. We like to try to change it up. But that's where I'm gonna be taking her out for dinner tonight, and to celebrate and really ring in the new year. We're gonna do it big for 2020. Like I said, definitely. I hope you are. Hope you hold on, because this is gonna be one hell of a journey. But let's start. Like I said, January 7th, we are at 25,000 subscribers. Another big thing happened for us in January. That was the Detroit Auto Show. Brett, thank you. Brett just super chatted. Thank you, Brett G. Happy New Year. I love having you here, man. I thank you for letting me share my passion with you. That's as simple as I can make it. And thank you, everybody, for letting me share my passion with you. But thank you, Brett. Happy New Year, man. I wish you nothing but health, prosperity, and happiness for sure, for everybody, obviously. But Detroit Auto Show was in January. I wasn't in the loop yet. Lori and I actually went on the public days. We filmed a ton of cars. I think it was something like 21 cars, 24 cars in 2 days at the public event. That was difficult because there were a ton of people, especially around the GT500. That was when the GT500 was unveiled. That's when the Toyota Supra was unveiled. So that really was the start of this thing, this big snowball going to get larger and larger, was January, the end of January, because that's when we went to the first auto show. February was kind of chill. You know, we were doing our thing. The channel was growing, obviously. I was getting the videos up. Thank you, everybody, for saying Happy New Year and everything. I really appreciate that. Definitely want to acknowledge that. Frank, I love you and Jeanette. I hope you guys are having a good time over in your neck of the woods of Florida. But definitely check out Car Story. He's got a fun YouTube channel where he really talks about the behind the scenes story with some of the owners of cars that he runs into. And you can see a video of him and I on there. But anyways, February was chill. I mean, I was doing my thing. I was still teaching. I was filming. I look back and I'm like, how was I even doing that? You know, doing a full-time job and YouTube, which I was putting full-time into it as well. I've definitely got to thank Lori again. Even though she's not here right now, she knows how helpful she was with getting me the space that I needed to really focus on working on the channel. But so February was kind of chill. The channel was growing. March was huge. March was like, so we had Kia. Kia reached out to Raiti's Rides out of the blue. I got an email. I was like, is this like a spam email? Is this like, you know, somebody trying to screw with me? Kia reached out. They invited Raiti's Rides. We went out to Colorado and got to experience the Telluride. That really just blew me away. We were at around 42,000 subscribers when I was invited out to that Kia Telluride event. And it just blew me away to be sitting there with people from Road and Track, from Car and Driver Magazine, the other big YouTube channels, Matt Moran and Redline Reviews and all that. And I'm just like, I'm pinching myself. I'm like, is this really happening? And definitely it was. And it was the first of many invites that we got. But another big thing that happened for us in March was we hit 50,000 subscribers. And Tracy and Weston and everybody at Walker Ford threw a great celebration. It was the second celebration because remember, back in October of 2018, we had the 10,000K celebration. So amazing that in March of 2019, we're at 50,000 subscribers. April, another big month for Raiti's Rides. Lori and I, she is awesome. Lori is a champ at these auto shows. I don't think many of you realize, first of all, how heavy the camera gear is. We got a big gimbal. We got the Sony, well, at that time I was using a Canon DSLR. Now we're using the Sony a7 III DSLR. It's a heavy camera. Those mirrorless cameras are heavy, and she does an amazing job. Her and I think we filmed 29 or 30 cars in 2 days at the New York Auto Show. And that was where right now our #1 video, if you ever wonder, well, Joe, because I always get people that come up to me, they're like, hey, Joe, man, what's your #1 video? Is it a Ferrari? Is it a Lamborghini? Is it a Corvette? Is it a Mustang? Is it a Shelby Gt350? The #1 video right now on Raiti's Rides is the 2020 Toyota Highlander from the New York Auto Show. It's on its way to 2 million views. So definitely that was right place at the right time for sure. But April was great, and it was nice to go during the media days. Less people, obviously, and I made some really great contacts. Sam, thank you, man. Sam is a great subscriber. He's been here since the beginning. Thank you for the super chat. I will be going to Chicago in February. That's something I was going to sum up at the end where we're going to be for next year, for 2020. But we will be in February at the Chicago Auto Show, and we will be doing a meet and greet in Chicago as well. So stay tuned for that information. As we get into January, I will give you the details. So hopefully you can meet up, and we could chat cars and finally be able to see face to face. That's the wonderful thing. So Sam, definitely looking forward to meeting you in person. And he's got one heck of a Roush Mustang for sure. Some other things that happened at the New York Auto Show. I met a gentleman from Honda who is in charge of public relations. He got me hooked up with getting press fleet vehicles from them, which I'll talk about that in a second. But April was great. May. Oh, Glenn, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Glenn, you're awesome. We wish you the same. Happy New Year. And trust me, I can't wait for the Shelby Gt350. I really can. You know, it's interesting because obviously none of you knew me back in 2015 because I didn't have a channel in 2015. But I remember when they unveiled the Shelby Gt350, my jaw dropped and my heart went pitter-patter. And since that moment, I really, really wanted one. Never thinking on a teacher's salary that I'd ever be able to afford one. I started the channel. Obviously, you all know that started in 2017, October 22nd, 2017. I had Andrew, one of our subscribers, reach out to me. He let me borrow his. We became friends. He let me borrow his Shelby Gt350 for 4 glorious days. I still dream about those days. And that's when I knew that the car was that was the obtainable dream car. You know, it was an obtainable dream car. But definitely, Glenn, thank you so much. And I can't wait to share that GT350 Heritage Edition with all you. Sergeant Cody, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Sergeant Cody's been on the channel for so long now, always commenting. It's always great to hear from you guys, especially you, Cody, and go back and forth with comments. And trust me, I'm doing it. You know, I schedule a couple hours and work through them. I want to see them because it gives me input into what you want to see. I like to know your ideas about what I'm filming. And, you know, it's just great to be in the loop. I definitely never want to be disconnected. It's all about the connection with you guys that makes this so awesome. But let's go back to May. Thank you, Cody, by the way. Happy New Year, man. May was huge. Not only was it, you know, that's my birth month. I was born May 10th. But I think the greatest thing that happened to me this year, that really was one of the biggest things in my life. I not only got to go to Indianapolis Motor Speedway on my birthday weekend with my wonderful wife, Lori. I not only got to meet Mario Andretti, but also interview Mario Andretti and Alexander Rossi, who's the 2016 Indy 500 champion. Then it just became magical. I got to ride in Honda's 2-seat Indy car with Mario Andretti as we are leading the field of cars for the Indy Grand Prix that weekend. Plus, I got to talk to Lee Diffie, who I've been watching his announcing on television for years because I'm a big, sports car endurance fan, racing fan, and Lee is always one of the commentators. To be able to talk to him live on NBC, I mean, that's going to be a tough one to follow up. I promise you that, but definitely a special moment that I got to share with all of you guys. And if you haven't seen it, there are 2 separate videos. You go to that car racing section in my playlist, and I actually did the one that Honda approved because this was all invited by Honda and Donut Media. We were chosen. And then I did like a behind the scenes with a bunch of extra footage. Really, really cool. So definitely was awesome. Thank you, Brett, by the way. Thank you, Glenn, by the way, for your super chat. I really, really appreciate that. And just wonderful to have your support and you, Sergeant Cody, as well. So May was huge with the Indy Grand Prix and the Honda 2-seater. And then June had some special things happen. June was the first time that I received a press fleet vehicle. So like I said, I met a gentleman who is the head of PR for Honda at the New York Auto Show. He hooked me up with the company that handles their press fleet vehicles, and I was able to receive their press fleet vehicles. And it's really been a blessing because it allows me to drive the car for a week. I get the car for a week, and my job is that I need to do a review on it. I need to post on Raity's Rides Instagram, Raity's Rides Facebook, Raity's Rides Twitter about the experience with the car. And that allows me to obviously get content, and it obviously gets them exposure. So that was really cool. And then probably another thing that really was life-changing for me, and I'm so glad that you guys got to be there for this, is I got to quit my job. So after 18 years of teaching high school, I got to quit my job. And I owe it all to you guys because, as much as I loved it, a lot of changes happening in the education world. I know a lot of you that are teachers can totally understand where I'm coming from, that, the technology in the classrooms is getting higher and higher usage. Kids with the smartphones and a lot of these different politicians and whatnot that haven't been in a classroom since they were in high school are now dictating how teachers should teach, and a lot of times their solutions are terrible. So thank you. I just want to thank all of you for helping me get that. Thank you, Sam. Oh, Matt. I got my Roush Mustang fans screwed up. Matt, I am so sorry, brother. I know there's a Sam out there, and maybe he might be watching, but Matt super chatted just now, lives in Chicago, and he does have a Roush Mustang, right? Matt, you do have a Roush Mustang. I know that. I just got the name screwed up because I know there's another subscriber who I believe also lives in Chicago named Sam that also has a Roush Mustang. My apologies. From the bottom of my heart, I remember as a teacher, I used to hate mispronouncing kids' names the first day of school. That's even worse, what I just did there. So, Matt, my apology. Thank you for super chatting. And yes, definitely, I want to meet you, Matt, face to face, so I can apologize at the Chicago Auto Show for sure. It's going to happen. Lori and I already got our tickets. We're already got the hotel room and everything else. But thank you, because I love cars, as you know. I've been around cars ever since I was born, and it's just a dream to be able to share my passion with you. And a lot of you are always, it's really wonderful how you guys get concerned about if I'm working too hard or if I'm posting too many videos and it's too hard on me. Listen, I do it for you guys, and you guys are awesome, and I love it. I love it. So you're definitely going to be getting more. And I really, really appreciate everything. But that was another big thing that happened in June. That was my final school year as a teacher. July was another. It seems like we have these months where it's just like one after the other after another. It's just really big stuff. But July was a special year too. A special month this year because that's the year I got my Type RA. So a lot of you were not aware of this because I did not have the YouTube channel at the time. So I tried to get a Type RA, but I was beat to the punch. And I kind of gave up on it, and I wound up getting a Type R, and I really wasn't happy with that decision in the long run. And then I wound up getting the RS, and I was happy with that decision for a while. But then the Type RA came back around. So July was the month that I got my WRX STI Type RA, 1 year old, from the guy who beat me to putting a deposit down at Reeves Subaru. I only wanted to really deal with Reeves originally before I even started the channel to try to get the car. And, it's a special car, and I really love driving it. I apologize if I have not posted recently a lot about it. Lori and I have been really busy. I mean, with the channel. So in a good way. It's a good way. I'm not complaining. November we were in a plane almost every week except for one, flying somewhere to get to a show, to get to a media launch. So expect January. January is kind of, I don't have a ton of stuff right now planned. When it comes to the big manufacturers, I am going to do some more videos on the Type RA. And I do still love that car. I know a lot of people have been asking, what about the Type RA? Lori and I had a discussion. I'm gonna, cut back on certain spending on certain areas. The plan is to keep the RA. I love the RA. I really do. I also love the GT350 as well, and I'm willing to cut out some spending in some areas to have both. And I'm very grateful for Lori is 100% behind it, and she thinks it's killer. And I can't wait to see her drive that Shelby Gt350. And that's another thing. Expect more driving videos and whatnot with Lori. We're actually going to film tomorrow in the early afternoon, late morning, some action with her and her BRZ. She loves that car. She gave it a nickname, Snowflake. Kind of fits it perfect. So stay tuned for some of that. She's amazing on camera, and you know me, I love her to pieces. So July was great because I wound up getting the Type RA. August, and before I go into August, the end of July, that's when we hit 100,000 subscribers. So you guys, awesome support. We got the channel to 100,000 subscribers. If I remember correctly, it happened July 25th. So thank you for supporting the channel and helping it grow to that size. That was like, because remember, I was expecting December, but it wound up being July. Remember, we had that awesome giveaway. I gave away 5 GoPro cameras, and no, they were not given to me by GoPro. Some people were asking me, hey, do you have a connection with GoPro? No, my connection was I went out and bought them, but did it the old-fashioned way. But a lot of you, I asked to guess what day would we hit the 100K, and there were 5 people. The 5 people that were closest wound up getting the GoPro. So that was really special. And then August, that's when we had the 100K celebration at Walker Ford. That blew me away. We had well over 300 people show up, and the amount of cars were mind-blowing. I mean, it was so awesome to see because we had like a car gathering, not like a car show with any kind of judging or anything like that, but a car gathering that wound up being awesome. And yes, I know some of you have been asking me, are we going to do a giveaway for 200K? Of course. Stay tuned for those details as we get closer. That's when I'll start sharing some of that, and then have you, have an opportunity to win. Everybody likes to win something every now and then, right? I do sometimes. So that's what happened in August, was the 100K celebration. And we got lucky here in Florida. Florida, usually it rains like every single day. it didn't rain that day, at least where Walker Ford was. There was rain around the area because I live in Pinellas County, Florida, and Hillsborough County got rain, and I think Pasco County got rain. Those are the other two counties near me, but we didn't get any rain during the show. So definitely Mother Nature is a Raity's Rides subscriber for sure. All right, I'm flipping the page and we're going to September. So September was a big month for us. We got a lot of news attention. So there was a story done on Channel 8 News, which is a local news station here in Clearwater, Florida. They did a segment on me. Then also there's a show, a daytime, it's literally called the Daytime Show, where that's where Walker Ford brought a Ford Raptor, and a Bullitt Mustang, and we were on the daytime show, talking about those cars and whatnot, which was a lot of fun. And I was so thankful for Walker Ford bringing those two vehicles. They drove a brand new Raptor and a brand new Bullitt from their dealership in Clearwater to Tampa, where the show is broadcasted, and they drove it right onto the set of the show, which was really killer. So that was really awesome to really help get the story out. A lot of people want to know, how did I go from being a teacher, a high school teacher, to now doing YouTube stuff? So really, really cool that people want to know. And it just humbles me. When I see everybody's support, it just, I don't know, it just blows me away, but it humbles me at the same time. And it's just an amazing thing to have all your support. October. So when you think that, is the year almost over yet? October was a great month too. Lori and I were invited to Yosemite as guests of Honda to do that Honda Passport adventure. She got to drive the Passport off-road. If you haven't seen that review, search through the playlist. It's there. It was a ton of fun. And it was great to be able to share with her. Plus, the way that Honda did this media event, they allowed some time for play. A lot of times these media things are just 2 days. You fly in, you do the car, and then you fly out. And that's why it's been hard. I know sometimes people reach out and they're like, hey, I see you're in Texas. Can you meet up? I'm there with the manufacturer, and it's hard for me to step away because it's only it's only a couple days. But it was nice because Lori and I were able to, they had an excursion, a mountain bike riding excursion, which we were able to go ride mountain bikes in Yosemite National Park, which was absolutely breathtaking and mind-blowing. So I see a lot of people commenting on, I'm originally from New York. So I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. That's where I was born and lived there until about the age of 7. Then we moved down to Florida, which I basically have lived here since. The only time I did not live in Florida, when I was racing cars professionally, I was kind of all over the United States. And I even lived outside of Toronto in a small town called Bowmanville, outside of Toronto, Canada. So that was interesting. That was definitely an adventure. October, after Yosemite, then I was invited as a guest by Acura to the Petit Lama race. If you don't know what the Petit Lama race is, it's a 10-hour endurance race at a racetrack in Georgia called Road Atlanta. And it's all through the IMSA WeatherTech series and multi-different classes racing for over 10 hours. Absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. And definitely, I got to thank all the people at Acura for inviting me to that. They didn't even want me to film. I mean, it was just, they wanted me to be their guest, and they knew how much I love racing, and it was awesome. It was totally awesome. Then we get into November. Before we get into November, end of October was obviously the 2-year anniversary of Raity's Rides. So Raity's Rides was started October 22nd, 2017, 2-year anniversary. Crazy to think that we went from filming on an iPhone to now we're at 167,000 subscribers. It's a beautiful thing. It's a dream come true. And it's really nice to hear from some of you saying that I help inspire you to focus on some dreams or things that you want to do. And hey, if that comes out of this and I get to share my passion with you, I'm even happier. So that's really awesome. that I could do that for some of you. And if you ever have any questions or anything, you want to do your own YouTube thing or something, shoot me a message on Facebook or on Instagram. I'll be more than happy to give you some pointers or point you in the right direction, because it's definitely a learning curve for sure, especially for me. I mean, I remember my students would help me with figuring everything out, especially when it comes to editing and the technology side of things. So yeah, 2-year anniversary, October 22nd. Then November was just crazy in a good way. SEMA, I was invited by Honda to go do a drive with the new Civic Si, and then go be their guest at SEMA. Tom and I filmed like 14 different cars, which was very challenging because there were a lot of people at SEMA. Even though it's not open to the public, there are a lot of people there. You got to figure out a way to get there one of these days, because 1 million square feet inside, 6 million square feet outside, and it's packed from stem to stern. If you're a muscle car person, if you're an import person, exotics, whatever, they have something for everybody there, and it's pretty mind-blowing. Then Lori and I went to the LA Auto Show. Her and I filmed 36 cars in 2 days. Got to experience some great things over in LA, and definitely it was a success. And I know a lot of you appreciated seeing some of those new cars right away, like the Mustang Mach-E, or excuse me, the Mach-E. I don't want to call it the Mustang Mach-E. The Mach-E was unveiled, so that was really, really cool. And that's something that I want to do different, a little different for next year. Each time I go to the show, stay tuned to the community page on YouTube. Before I fly out for a show, I will post a survey. I'll list some different vehicles that are going to be unveiled at that particular show. You get to decide which one I do live. I will do a live review at the show on the channel of that car. It was something that I tried for fun earlier this month at the Toyota Highlander event. It wound up being huge. I mean, I think that video has over 70,000 views or something like that. And it was just, like I said, it was just off the cuff, which all my reviews are off the cuff anyway. So whether I'm live or not, doesn't matter to me. But definitely stay tuned for more live reviews as the cars are being unveiled. That's something for next year that we're definitely going to change. And like I said, we went to the LA Auto Show, and then another great event was Sudi Fest. Now that I'm back in a Subaru, Sudi Fest was this was the first year that it was done here in Lakeland, Florida, which is in the center of the state. I need something to drink real quick. My mouth's getting a little dry. Excuse me. But anyways, Sudi Fest, it's a national event. They've had it in California. They have it in other parts of the country. This was the first one here in Florida. It was so awesome. There was something like over 2,500 Subarus that showed up to the event. And the best part for me was I got to meet so many of you. There literally were over 100 different subscribers that I got to meet, Raity's Rides family members at Sudi Fest. That really just warmed my heart. And it was so great. Lori was there. We all got to share it together. So that was really, really cool. What's up, Logan? What's up, Leon? And then that leads us into December. And the big thing was the 2020 Toyota Highlander. That was the first media event that Toyota invited us out to. So I got to do the Highlander. And then, of course, was the holidays. That's a big thing for all of us. And now the way to kind of sign off on December was putting that order in on that Shelby Gt350 Heritage Edition, which, stay tuned. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to post the video of when we find out that we have the allocation and share that all with you guys so that you guys are in the loop and know exactly what's going on. And then my goal is, and one of the main reasons, why Walker Ford is so awesome is they're going to make sure that they could contact me and have me be there when the car rolls in on the truck. So we could do some footage of it actually rolling in, going through PDI. They're going to put it on a lift for me. I'm going to be able to talk about underneath a Shelby Gt350, Have not done that yet. So that will be some stuff to definitely stay tuned for if we get the allocation. I really don't have a plan B. If we don't get the allocation, it's going to be hard for me to go to a different dealership. It really is, because they're not going to treat me the same. They're definitely not going to help me out the same as Walker Ford, or not even close. So I'm not even going to think about plan B. I'm hoping that, well, I know, Weston, who is the son of Frank Walker, the family that owns Walker Ford, after the new year, they're going to send in the screenshots, the links, the whole 9 yards of all your comments on that video that I posted. And like I said, I think there's over 2,500 comments on that particular video. And I thank you for wanting to do that. Like I said, I wasn't begging you. I wasn't, saying, hey, you got to do it. It was because you wanted to. And that's what means the most to me. I don't want to force anybody to do anything. I mean, it was the same way when I used to be a teacher. There were a few of you that asked me a question that I thought was interesting. You wanted to know if I have any New Year's resolutions. I know that was something that has been coming up. And obviously, when you get to this time of the year, isn't that really the thing that people start saying, I want, what's your New Year's resolution? Like I've told people for years, especially my students when I was teaching, I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions. Just like I don't believe that you need a holiday to tell somebody you love them. If you want to make a change, you can make that change at any moment. It does not have to be because there's a holiday or a number on a calendar goes from 2019 to 2020. Make that change when you're ready, and when you feel that you can follow through with it. Because that's the interesting thing is you do get a lot of people who make New Year's resolutions, and then by the end of January, it's like they forgot. They've gone back to bad habits or whatnot. So I don't have any New Year's resolutions. What I do want to do for 2020, and this is a change that I'm going to make, is I want to bring more content. I know that sounds crazy. How can you do that? But I want to do more of the live stuff. I want to try to do more, definitely live stuff like we're doing right now. We've had around 100 people watching live. Right now we have 81, which is still awesome. This was totally unplanned, and I apologize for those of you who are watching this after the fact. I apologize for not having a better plan for this. Next year, I will now know that for Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, I'm definitely going to go live, and I'll give you a heads up ahead of time. But that is something I want to do. And then another thing that I know Lori definitely wants to do as well is we want to be at more events and being able to meet you guys in person. I want to show you something now that we're done talking about the review. So Lori is so creative, and Lori's the one that came up with the Raity's Rides logo. She, has really put together this whole game plan for the channel, and she continues to use her creativity in such wonderful ways. So we kind of ran out of all the Raity's Ride stuff that I like to give away. Whenever I'm at an event, or if somebody sees me and like, hey, are you Joe Raiti from Raity's Ride? I like to give out things. It's just a simple way to say, hey, thank you. And one of the things that we've given out are bumper stickers. And Lori has gone to town. We went through all of our bumper stickers. We kind of wanted to do a reorder, but Lori wanted to come up with some new designs. Let me show off some of her work because it just came in. The UPS delivery driver dropped it off today. So we have these bumper stickers here. These are really cool. It's Raity's Rides, no zonks. So really, really thought that was so smart of her to use that image. Just looks cool. So we have these. Of course, we're always going to have the traditional. People are now calling this the 8-ball, the Raity's Rides 8-ball, and it looks like an 8-ball. That wasn't my intention or her intention, but hey, it works. So we have these. I always like to, if I see a car at a car gathering event or I do a subscriber's car, I like to have these around. Raity's Rides approved. So if you're not getting the zonk, then you're definitely approved. And then a new one that she created. So this was a totally new design. Looks awesome. I'm sure you would agree. Laura, you're the greatest. And then we have the Raiti's Rides Superfan sticker. So, and these are bumper stickers. They're weatherproof. You can put them wherever and they won't get all weird and fall off. But this is why I say to so many of you, if you see me in public, please stop me and say hello. I want to meet you. And 9 out of 10 times, I usually have something on me that I want to give you that's Raiti's Rides related. So if you're wondering, well, how can I get these? Anytime that we're going to do giveaways and raffles and all those types of things, I send them in the mail with whatever you're winning as well. So many different ways to get some Raiti's Rides swag, I guess you would call it. We have keychains. We have all that. Definitely want to go to, if you're in Chicago, if you go to the meet and greet at the Chicago Auto Show, we're going to be bringing this stuff. So this will be stuff that you could get. I got a good question here from Glenn. Have you thought of attending the Jackson Barrett or Mecum event? Yes, I'm definitely going to Mecum in January, right in Kissimmee, Florida, which is in Orlando. If you are going to be there, try to message me. I'll also do a meet and greet there as well. But one thing I'm looking forward to this year at the Mecum Auto Show is they're going to have the real Bullitt Mustang. The Bullitt Mustang, the Mustang that was used in the movie Bullitt, driven by Steve McQueen. That car is going to be auctioned off at the Mecum Auto Show, and they're expecting it to bring in around $4 million. So kind of crazy, kind of cool. But yeah, definitely going to be a Mecum. I would like to go to a Barrett Jackson eventually. It's just, to be honest with you, the Mecum one is a little closer to me, and I could get that. I could attend that a lot easier. The Barrett Jackson one is a little further south, but I would like to eventually go to. I mean, the plan is in the next upcoming years is to really get out there and meet more of you and go to more events. So let me look at some of these comments and see if we could answer some things here. All right, so we answered that one about the Mecum Auto Show. It says, Mr. Raiti, I've said this many times, but you show more care of your viewers. Oh, that's really awesome. So it wasn't a question, but it's definitely an awesome statement and comment. Beechcraft PvP, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. It basically says that, Mr. Raiti, I've said this many times, but you show more care for your viewers than anyone I know. Keep up the good work, brother. Well, I appreciate you saying that, and it is a pleasure to be able to share my passion with you guys, because you guys make the channel. Listen, it's all because of your support that I'm able to do what I do and bring it to you. And that's why I say, like with the GT350, I can't wait to share every experience that goes with ordering that car, getting the car delivered, all that good stuff. We're going to be sharing it with you. Let me see what else we got. We actually have a question here. What does it say? Whoa, we got another super chat. Benji, yes, thank you, Benji. I will definitely be bringing you some stickers, Benji. If anybody is in the Clearwater, Florida area, we will be at Walker Ford on Thursday. So we'll be hitting up Walker Ford on Thursday. They got the new F250 with the Super Duty with the 7.3 liter engine, the regular gas engine instead of the diesel. So stay tuned for that. Yes, Lori is awesome, and 2020 is going to be great. But thank you, Benji, for that super chat. You're really, really wonderful. We have a question. What is a GT350? And I don't assume that everybody is always on the same page when it comes to their car knowledge. So a Shelby Gt350 is a Mustang that's been kind of taken to the next level. It's got a 5.2 liter V8. So instead of the 5 liter Coyote engine, that's what they call that engine, they have the Voodoo engine, and that's what makes that car so special. 526 horsepower, redline 8,250 RPM, and I can't wait to drive the one that we've ordered. Hopefully that happens. Let me go ahead. And let's see what we got here. So thank you, Benji, once again for saying that. We got so many comments in here. I'm really having to scroll. Lots of people just saying Happy New Year's. What's up? Oh, we got a good question. So somebody said, did I hear anything about a Camry, Toyota Camry and Avalon all-wheel drive? Yes, I have heard about that. I was actually invited. February, Toyota's doing a media launch of that car. Here's the challenge. I'm already booked. Kia has invited us to be back in San Antonio, Texas. So I went to San Antonio this month with Toyota. I'm going back to San Antonio, Texas with Kia for the all-new Seltos launch. So stay tuned for that. That is something that we're going to be doing for 2020. More media launches. Unfortunately, I can't be in two places at one time. If anybody can figure that out, please let me know. If you know how to be in two places at one time, then I could go to both media events. But unfortunately, Kia was first with the invitation. So Kia it is. But I've talked with the people over at Toyota. They're very excited with what we did with the Highlander at the media event this month, that Raiti's Rides is on the list to get invited to more events. What I'm hoping for, and I know I haven't brought this up because I kind of just put it deep back on the back burner because I didn't want to put too much into it and then get let down. Ford says that they're going to be inviting us at some point in 2020 to do a track event with the GT500. If that happens, definitely get ready for some amazing action from behind the wheel, because that would definitely be high up on my list. I'm curious. They say it's going to be a track in the Southeast. They've done a lot of PR stuff at Road Atlanta. I would love for it to be at Road Atlanta. What I would really love for it to be is at Sebring. I love Sebring. Sebring was the first racetrack my father, like actual road course, that my father ever took me to when I was 7 years old, 12 hours of Sebring back in 1983. Wow, that was a long time ago. So that would be utterly amazing to do the GT500 track day at Sebring. But that's another thing that I've actually brought up to Lori over the last few days. I want to go and do some different track day events, different racing school events. Like Skip Barber Racing School picked back up again. They had shut their doors for a while. They've been reorganized. They have a new owner, and I would like to see if I could get into the Skip Barber, do some lapping sessions, maybe in a Formula car. That would be a total blast as well. But that is some stuff. So Camry and Avalon they are going to be all-wheel drive. They're going to offer all-wheel drive with them. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go to the media event, but we will be at Wesley Chapel Toyota, I'm sure, and bring you those cars as soon as they get them. When is this Tesla Cybertruck review coming out? Anything Tesla is going to be hard to come by. I don't have access to any Teslas, and not to say that I will never have access to Teslas, but that's something that I'm working on. I'm still working on trying to get access to Lincoln. I believe, fingers crossed, and Jay, if you're watching, thank you, man, for supporting the channel and for getting me access. I should be getting access into a permanent place for a Dodge and Chrysler and Jeep dealership. So I do go to Fitzgerald Jeep, and I still will continue to do my Jeep footage there, but definitely I've had a lot of people ask me for more Dodge products like the Durango, obviously more of the Challenger and Charger stuff, all the different trim levels and whatnot. Expect that to come within the first couple weeks after we hit that new year tonight. So that will be coming, but I still need to get access to Lincoln. And there's a couple other brands there that I'm still working on. So please just hold tight. It's not because I don't want to. I promise you that. Some of these dealerships, there's a lot of red tape. And I was about to get into a Lincoln dealership, and then it fell through at the final hour. And trust me, I was bummed out, but I will be making my way to that to those different brands. So stay tuned for that. Cybertruck, I think I kind of talked about this before. I'm not really digging it. My brother Michael, he has an order for one. So I guess if my brother Michael gets his, and he has a deposit down, just like a million other people, if he gets his, then I'm sure he will allow me to bring the Cybertruck to you that way if I don't get access any other way. But we'll see. Listen, 2020 is going to be an amazing thing. A lot of these manufacturers, we caught them by surprise because there was no Raity's Rides at one point, and now Raity's Rides is here, and we're here in a big way. And I think some of the manufacturers don't know what to do. I think they aren't 100% sure what we bring to the table, but the good news is they're figuring it out. So Nissan is going to be flying me down to Miami to drive the Sentra in a couple weeks. So all new Sentra, I brought it to you from the LA Auto Show with Lori. Did an awesome job. She did such an awesome job with that video. We are going to be filming that at Miami. So stay tuned for that drive. And like I said, I'm expecting more manufacturers. Press fleet, let me give you a little press fleet vehicle update. We're going to be getting Nissan press fleet vehicles and Mercedes-Benz. So stay tuned for more in-depth reviews of those different brands of vehicles. Joe, buy a Trackhawk. So somebody, Mr. Molesby, said, buy a Trackhawk. Trackhawks are great. Like my grandmother said, they're not my cup of tea. I mean, they're fast. They're amazing. It's not a vehicle that I would want to own personally. But they definitely are a fast, if you want to get around in an SUV very quick. I don't think there's any other way you could do that. But I'm scrolling here through the comments. The wonderful thing is a lot of people saying Happy New Year, so that's really, really great. I found a question from Gabriel. He asked, did my students subscribe to the channel? Yes. Many of them were those first early subscribers, and still so many of them are subscribers. And what's cool is when we have the Raity's Rides event, a lot of them still come out to support the channel and to share in the excitement and the fun, because that's what it's about. It's about, the whole thing is about sharing, and whether it's sharing the excitement, sharing my passion, sharing the cars. Here's some little quick, since there's not a ton of questions, which if you have a question, this would probably be a good time to ask. Let me see here. Oh, here's a good question, since we're talking about teaching. What did I teach? I taught social studies. So I taught history, pretty much taught it all. US history, world history, economics, American government. My favorite though, and it falls within social studies because it's a social science, for many years, especially those final years from 2008 to 2019, I taught psychology, and I absolutely love psychology. And it's funny because well before the channel, I would try to show any kind of car stuff in psychology class whenever I could, but I also love history. It's always important to know where we came from to figure out where we're going. And with cars, there's so much unique history behind them. Like one thing I always like, yes, Lewis, AP Psych, man. And I actually have some of my students right now watching this live. So it's really, really awesome to share this with them as well. But just interesting to share the history behind cars. Very, very awesome, awesome history, especially when you tie it in with the world wars. I mean, you think of BMW and you think about how they made airplanes and airplane engines, and then they switched to motorcycles, and then they switched to cars. And there's still people today that don't even know BMW made motorcycles, or that BMW makes motorcycles. They still do. I mean, it's cool stuff like that. You know, another little tidbit that I don't get to share with you because we don't do motorcycles on the channel, which I know I've shared pictures. I was at, and I still love, I love motorcycles just as much as I love cars, and rode motorcycles for about 14 years until there was an incident where somebody ran a stop sign and wound up hitting me. But still love motorcycles to this day. And one little tidbit of information I always like to share is, there's a very famous motorcycle company called Ducati. And obviously Ducati is an Italian motorcycle manufacturer. What's fascinating is that during World War II, Ducati was not making motorcycles. They existed as a company, but they made communication devices, walkie-talkies, field radios, things like that. And because of that, it was a target by the Allies to bomb. So the actual Ducati factory was bombed by the Allies during World War II. And if you go to Italy, to the factory and where they have their museum, it's the same factory. So it's pretty cool, the amount of history going from communications and radio and stuff like that to now making motorcycles. That really, really is awesome. Obviously they made motorized bicycles first and then went to motorcycles. So pretty cool. I know a lot of people keep asking me, am I going to do motorcycle reviews? Probably not. I'm really, my schedule is packed with car stuff. Maybe down the road, who knows, we would have a spin-off of Raiti's Rides and have another channel where we dedicate that to motorcycle stuff. But I don't want to muddy Raiti's Rides right now. Raiti's Rides is cars, trucks, Jeeps, those types of things. And then we could always go from there. Some people are just chiming in now, I guess. They want to know news about the GT350. We have the order in. We have not heard anything from Ford because we got to wait until all the executives and whatnot go back to their jobs after the holidays are over. So expect an answer. From what Walker Ford's tell me is that they should have an answer by the end of January, and then we could go from there. So hopefully that happens soon. We got a question from Nick. Joe, do you know when will Subaru release some news about the Subaru Brz? So there's supposed to be an updated Brz. I'm going to say it's probably not going to be until late 2020, which would make it either a 2021 or possibly a 2022 model. The reason why I say that is that if they're coming out with a new WRX for 2021 and a new WRX STI, I would think their plate is probably a little full with that. And if they're smart, they would just focus on that and then the BRZ. I know that the BRZ is going to continue on, and I know that the BRZ is going to have a larger displacement flat four. Still no word yet on how much horsepower or anything like that. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm sorry I don't have more news. I'll find out more, I'm sure, Nick, as we go through the auto shows this year. But I know there's a lot of excitement for the new BRZ, for the new Toyota 86, and definitely even more excitement for what is this WRX and STI gonna be like. What's up, Jay? I see you chiming in with your motorcycles and whatnot. Oh, thanks, Robert. Nice job on the Ducati trivia. I like this type of content too. That's why I always like giving a little bit of history. It's because I was a history teacher. Kind of makes sense. What do I think of the 2020 Toyota Tacoma? So, I mean, somebody asked me that the other day. I think Lori and I were kind of discussing it too. If we were going to buy a mid-sized truck, what truck would it be? I think in the end, I would have to go Toyota Tacoma. And I would personally, because I kind of like the fully optioned, or really the one that's the beefiest, so to speak, I would go TRD Pro, especially that army green color. I do have a review of a TRD Pro 4Runner coming up to the channel probably by this weekend in army green. That color is killer. I didn't think I was going to like it because I'm not really a big dark green person, but it works, and people are giving me thumbs up left and right, which is really, really cool. Thank you, F1. I see you're coming from Toronto. Jay Kroll says, Happy New Year. Are those similar? The 2019 model, are there plans to review the new 2020? Yes, I will do some updates and bring you more reviews on the Ridgeline, even though it's a 2010, because to be honest with you, people, that's what they're searching. So instead of searching 2019, now people are searching 2020s, and I like to cover it all. Gabriel has a question about a podcast. That is something Lori has definitely brought up to me many a time. There's gonna be some big announcements coming for 2020. So stay tuned, which I know you're going to already, but stay tuned to Raity's Rides because there will be some new stuff. But that's one thing we want to also start to add our podcasts and whatnot. It's just hard because I only have so much time. And part of that time I like to dedicate to you guys with answering comments and whatnot in the videos. Benji, thank you again, man. You're really, really awesome. Benji, I'm sure many of you noticed this was a gift from Lori for my birthday. She went out and got these beautiful frame prints behind me. Like I said, I'm a big sports car endurance racing fan and just a sports car racing fan, period. And to have examples like what I have behind me is really cool. So that makes it even more special because Lori and I went to a vintage race at Daytona a couple years ago, and a couple of these particular cars behind me in those prints were at the event, which was really cool for her to see and all that kind of stuff. Luke, what was your question? I don't know. You got to remember when these things are going. Right now, we have 85 people watching. When these things are going on and people are commenting or asking questions, they disappear very quickly, and that's why a lot of people like Glenn and Matt. Matt, I remember your name. I'm never going to forget that. I promise you. They use the super chat to get their question permanently pasted so that I can answer it. What else we got? What are my plans for tonight? So tonight, I am taking Lori out. Lori and I are going out to this little Italian restaurant here where we live. It's actually in the town next to us, which isn't really a far drive. So I don't think we're driving like 2 hours to another town. But we're going to a little Italian restaurant. And then to be honest with you, we're going to probably stay in and enjoy the New Year's together at home because it gets crazy out there. It gets crazy. People do crazy stuff. And we kind of just want to chill and relax a little bit because as you heard from everything that we did this year, it's been a pretty crazy, crazy year. So yes, we definitely love Italian food. Treasure Island. I know where Treasure Island is. It's a small world, man. Small world. Yeah, we love Italian. Another type of food that we love is we love Mexican food, like tacos. We could eat those all day long. So that's another amazing, amazing type of food. JP, am I taking Lori out in the Type RA? Of course. Of course, we're going out in the Type RA, and that's how we're going to do it tonight in the Subaru. For sure. But before I go, I just want to say once again, because we have been live for an hour and 12 minutes. Every time I go live, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to be live for 45 minutes, maybe an hour. But we have been live right now for an hour and 13 minutes. And it's been awesome to have all you guys here watching, answering comments, the awesome super chats from everybody. I really appreciate that. All that goes, of course, like I said, back into the channel to bring better coverage, better footage. But I want to wish you all a very, very happy new year. You guys mean so much to Lori and I and to Raity's Rides, period, that we can't do without you. We want you to be safe tonight. We want you to definitely have a good time. But more importantly, be safe. Don't do anything too crazy. And I know that 2020 for all of us is going to be filled with joy, health, and prosperity. And I can't wait to share it with all of you here on Raity's Rides. Have a good night. I'll see you not only on the next ride, but I will see you next year. Bye, guys. Have a good New Year's.